Most of the people in Hollywood and the video game industry absolutely hate fans' guts. They want us to basically shut up, consume product, and move on to the next, even if it's activism filled slop. And now, a former Amazon and Disney exec affirms that Hollywood has contempt for the audience and hostility towards white people and men. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live stream, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, I'm sure that none of you are going to be shocked by this news, hearing that people in these industries absolutely hate our guts and are complete racists. They preach about inclusivity and diversity until it comes time for them to truly be inclusive and allow anybody's voice to matter, even if you're white or a man. But now Amazon Video and Amazon Studios founder and Disney exec Roy Price lampooned Hollywood for having, quote, contempt for the audience and hostility towards white people and men. In a recent article posted to his Substack titled Woke is the New Disco, Price blasted the current Hollywood elite for living within an America that exists mainly in Hollywood HR departments, Columbia's faculty lounge, and CNN and MSNBC. He noted that the studios and the elites that run them have chosen to disdain and ignore many Americans, including, quote, half the country's votes, 40% of Americans who own guns, another 40% who attend church monthly, and the 74% who live outside the West Coast, New York, or New England. Add this to the roughly 50% of Americans who are male, so we are talking across the board about them just simply hating people. These individuals preach inclusivity and diversity whenever they think it's going to make them money. Otherwise, they don't care. That's why we constantly say these people are virtue signaling pricks, because that's all that they are. They do not care about making the world a better place. They care about lining their own pockets. And the worst part is they don't want to bring up everybody with them, the average people who are working at these companies. No, they just want to give themselves a higher cut. They want a larger amount of funds, which is why we do not like them, which is why we do not want to support them. If they actually acted like they cared about making the industry better, giving us better products, then they would get more money. It's not about virtue signaling. That doesn't make money. DEI initiatives do not bring you in more cash. What brings you in more cash is hiring better people who are not activists, who can actually do a good job and who can make high quality products, and then we show up to support them. It's just that simple. Next, he declared that the deeper problem within Hollywood is the contempt for the audience. Wokeness, both in politics and entertainment, carries with it a strong and explicit element of hostility, particularly towards white people and men. While this approach initially gained compliance through social pressure and corporate acquiescence a few years ago, such accommodations were, of course, temporary. Amongst the people and in courtrooms by 2024, wokeness has become toxic. To a large part of the audience, it is an embarrassing, widely resented relic of the past, and the people need to see that acknowledged by candidates. They, especially men, need to see wokeness disavowed. I completely agree with this. I do not think that wokeness is a good thing. Diversity and inclusivity are good when they are not on a checklist, right? If you are just hiring the best person for the job and that happens to be a black person or a woman of color, that's fantastic. I think that that's super cool. I want everybody to have an equal opportunity, but we know that's not the case in Hollywood. We know that they prop up certain individuals who they think look better for their company, and then, of course, they disavow individuals who happen to be white people or men now because they do not think that that's a good look. The best look is the best person for the job, at least in my opinion, but they constantly insult us by making moves like this and also just by making genuinely bad products. They are insulting our intelligence and they just view us as walking wallets, which people are not buying into their BS anymore. Look at the video game industry. While, yes, we do see a lot of games massively succeed, the extremely bad ones, the ones where they focused on DEI first and foremost, like Dragon Age, the Veilguard, Dustborn, Flintlock of Siege of Dawn, Concord, they are all massive failures, and these companies need to wake up and smell the roses. He later reiterated Hollywood is having a difficult time, partly because, like Kamala, it has been denying the reality of the audience. It has not been meeting customer expectations, mostly because it disdains them. He also shared why he believes Hollywood was so easily captured with the ideology. For most people, it is conformity. Hiring decisions are subjective in Hollywood, so there is always pressure to conform. In addition, at this point, some people believe that if not for wokeness, they would not have their jobs. And I think that they're correct. I think that half the jobs in Hollywood would be cut tomorrow if they gave up on the DEI initiatives. They would not have to have so many people in these performative roles, like I talk about it a lot. The HR divisions having these DEI supervisors, and none of those positions would exist anymore. But finally, he revealed that he believes Hollywood should and can be saved and explained how that can occur. I can tell you plain and simply how it would occur: firing 90% of the people in the industry. The Kathleen Kennedys need to go, the Bob Igers need to go. They need to hire people who are with the times, people who can actually adapt to what audiences want. And sure, I understand that projects are greenlit years in advance and they have scripts going out for years, but we need somebody who is coming up with scripts that can be a bit more flexible, right? They might have a good set of bones, they might have a good structure, but they can be kind of altered a little bit when that project finally comes around. And they're hiring people who are also flexible, who are listening to what audiences want, and who are just coming up with genuinely good content. But when you have a Kathleen Kennedy going, fuck the male Star Wars fans, the Force is female, and we don't care about what you have to say, and she's signing Daisy Ridley for, like, I think at this point, 4 projects, that's not how you're going to change Hollywood. They need to hire people who are understanding of the current climate and who are listening to customers. And yeah, sure, I think that they could turn things around. Hollywood's always been like progressive to a certain extent, so I don't think that they could ever go fully anti-woke, but I think that they could just go back to making good content and making money. And we do see, movies and TV shows still doing pretty good. This year, we've gotten plenty of massive successes like Dune Prophecies being received pretty positively. The Penguin was phenomenal. Shogun was phenomenal. But on the flip side, we're seeing companies like Disney, yes, have like 2 or 3 mega hits, but then 10 other projects per year that are flops. So I completely agree with what he's saying. I think that we've known for a long time that these executives do hold a certain amount of contempt for the audience. And of course, they are openly hostile towards white people and men. We've seen it happen many times, especially in the content that they are releasing. So I will be interested to see if Roy Price actually says anything else on this topic, because his voice is certainly being listened to. But for now, that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.